What's good guys, it's Captain Awesome. I hope you're having a good day wherever you're watching this video. Today we are continuing with Hellverine Volume 2, issue number 2. And it's a wild story. Hellverine has been a crazy story from the jump. But without further ado, let's jump right back into the story. So back in issue 1, Dr. Strange sends Daken to the North Pole. But as to what he needs to do there, we don't entirely know. But Daken gives us some narration. Dr. Strange sends me to the North Pole. It's where my life ended, and where it began again. Sabretooth tore me to pieces, condemning me to death, and Bagra-Ghul stitched me back together, reviving me as his host. I abandoned this place, but something of me clearly remains, and I need to put it to a stop. Hellverine is like an uninvited guest in my body. I can usually slam the door on him, but if he really wants to, he'll break in through the windows. We are both figuring out who controls who, and how much we need each other. The greenhouse. I haven't been here in a long time. A long time ago, guess you could say. X-Force built this when Krakoa ended, when the mutants were banished and hunted. The structure appears to be abandoned, but only recently. This food might be a week old. I can tell from the news items and planning intel that the mutants living here were trying to find their place in a world that largely despised them, but something scared them away from this safe haven, or worse. And as Daken goes around the facility snooping around to find any information or news that he can use, he finds a body which has been heavily mutilated somehow. The smell of sulfur and rot pours off hair. But as he's investigating, he hears someone coming from behind. Daken swerves out of the way. Get away from here. Get away from me. With Bagra-Ghul floating inside me, I can sense evil. This isn't it. He's just scared. And he lands a blow on this unknown assailant. Daken tells him that he doesn't want to hurt him, but he will if he has to. And the man just tells him, "You are not one of them." So Daken helps him up and tells him, "If by them you mean that thing in the medical bay, then no, you can trust me." So they both sit down to have a chat about what exactly went down at this facility. The man tells him that they both shouldn't be out in the open and that they should stay hidden and quiet. But Daken just asks his name, and the guy tells him he's Evan. To which Daken says he's got the ability to fire off kinetic energy. Daken says he has abilities of his own. The place might not be safe, but it's safe for them for now, and that Evan should trust him. He then goes on to ask what's brought Evan here, and Evan tells him the same thing that brought everyone here. He wanted to live someplace safe where people didn't want to kill him, and Daken, trying to be sarcastic, says that turned out well. He continues, "I need to understand what's happened here. I told you you can trust me, so don't be nervous," as his eyes begin to glow with the Hellverine's power. They both lock eyes, and it seems like Evan's memories are being transferred to him using Bagra-Ghul's power. I'm still figuring out the limits of my infernal sense. It's like a compass that leads me to the darkness outside and inside of us. Everyone in the greenhouse had tasks they were responsible for. That included hunting. A mutant named Celine enjoyed stalking the ice humox, and Evan would often join her. They would bring back caribou, bear, wolves, seal. The wind shear disturbed her aim. She hadn't killed the animal with the first shot. They followed the blood trail, and it led them to death. As you see a crater of some sort that had been scattered with dead animals, trying to create some effigy of sorts. Evan could hear something, an undersound, like a whispering. It wanted them to come closer. It wanted to share a secret with them. Evan and Celine did not know what we know, that this had been my burial site, that this had been where Bagra-Ghul consummated our unholy union. Evan dragged Celine back to the greenhouse, and she screamed most of the way. The rest of the mutants were horrified by what they heard. Sometimes she sounded like herself, sometimes she didn't, her voice dropping to a raw bass. She had second and third degree burns on her body, but the problem went deeper. She befouled them, she bit them, and we see Evan fighting off whatever this lady Celine had become, blasting her in her chest. Hence the reason why Daken found her in the state she was. You tell us like you were there. Evan then continues, "But there's one other thing. I hid. I should have helped, but I hid." The screaming and the howling finally gave way to silence until you showed up. And Daken says, "Here I am. Here we are. And it's not too late to help." They walk outside heading for the effigy where this tragedy all began for them. Evan asks Daken if he doesn't feel cold at all, and he tells him his internal thermostat runs hot as hell. Evan continues, "Reassure me again. I don't need to be afraid of you, right? I've answered a lot of your questions. But I'm realizing now I don't entirely understand why you are here, or what you want, or even who you really are. But I need to show you something. Something I don't understand. Something that scares the hell out of me. Monuments have been erected, including at the site of the crater. And he shows Daken the effigy Bagra-Ghul had erected up. Not going to lie to you, Evan. I'm a part of all this. Maybe I'm even to blame for it. But I'll be damned if I'm going to stand by and let it continue. The monuments, they are a form of blood sacrifice. And their arrangements mean something. Like a red code written for a computer built from bones and entrails. If I had to guess, I'd say this one's allowing hell to seep into this world. No matter what happens, no matter what I say, destroy it. And he transforms into the Hellverine. One of these strange hell creatures jumps at Daken and tries to attack him, but Daken quickly dispatches him, and we get some more narration again. I don't want to hurt my own, but I can smell the rotten sulfur coming off this body. It's like the demon in the medical bay, a pile of hell stabbed into a mutant skin. Which brings me back to the question, why here? Why build an altar breaching hell and encouraging possession at the top of the world? The only ones here are mutants. The demon inside me has no voice, but it has feelings, impulses, desires. I understand things about it in the same way that I understand hunger or the need to breathe. And I know I'm onto something. But what in the hell does hell want with us? And another one of Evan's mutant friends who is possessed attacks him using their mutant power that stretches out this weird tongue of hers to drag him towards her, and she tries to attack him. But before she can, Daken swoops in and swiftly dispatches her, taking her head off. When Bagra-Ghul takes me over, when I become the Hellverine, I feel like I'm watching the world from the other side of a bonfire. I want to help Evan, but the demon wants to hurt him, furious to see its work undone. As Daken and Evan execute their plan, and Evan shoots down this effigy. For a moment, it seems Bagra-Ghul takes over and he tries to attack Evan. And Evan obviously pleads with Daken, not understanding what is happening. You said you wouldn't hurt me. You said I didn't need to be afraid of you. Daken tries to fight it. I do my best to conjure up guilt, remembering the moment when I killed my adoptive mother and her unborn child. And it seems it helps him snap back. I do my best to conjure up my shame, remembering that Dr. Strange threatened to end me if I didn't learn to control the worst parts of myself. And I break through. And for a moment as he is in full control, he uses that time as Hellverine to blast the effigy. He manages to destroy the effigy, but another one of the possessed grabs Evan by the leg and tries to pull him down with him. Daken rushes to save him, but he is too late and Evan is dragged down. He says to himself, too late, hell has them, the good I tried to do is never enough. Not shortly after, Dr. Strange arrives using a portal. So that's what -40 feels like, how miserable. He tells Daken, come on, get up, you surely know the expression, no rest for the wicked. And Daken tells him, I did what you asked, Strange. And Strange continues, I'm afraid you are just getting started. I've been doing some research. There's some very old, very dangerous magic that's loose in the world now. The magic of hell. And it's after mutant kind. And that, folks, is where Hellverine Volume 2 Issue 2 ends off. What did you think of this issue? I think it was a simple, straightforward issue that progressed the character of Daken, and I think it's moving the story somewhere. As to where Hellverine is going to go next, the events that are going to unfold, I don't know what they will be, but I'm sure they will be interesting. Obviously, it has something to do with Bagra-Ghul and the forces of hell trying to come to Earth. And it seems Dr. Strange will play a huge part in this, which I'm also excited for. He is missing from the mainline stories with all that's going on with the One World Under Doom event, and he's no longer the Sorcerer Supreme, so it makes sense. Hopefully, this is interconnected in some way. But enough of my yapping, guys. As always, do all the good stuff. Like, comment, subscribe, and share the video with someone you think will enjoy it. Until next time, guys, stay awesome.